Welcome back to Just Another Land Cruiser. Today I'm just going to go over a few things that I've done the last couple weeks. Nothing, well, a little bit major, but not a lot of stuff. I haven't had a lot of time. So I've been coming out maybe an hour after work and just getting some little things done, but the little things are starting to add up where I'm almost done with the engine part. A couple other things I just need to do before I button all this back up, and then then I can concentrate on the body. So before I do a walk around of some of the major things that I got accomplished, let's go over a couple of the few things that I needed to do while the engine is in this state before you put everything around it. I know a lot of you guys are Land Cruiser guys, Australia, other countries, and so y'all aren't too knowledgeable, I guess, with the Cummins because y'all don't have a whole lot of them there, but we have a lot of them here, and a couple of little fixes that you have to do when you inherit a Cummins, whether it has 15,000 miles on it or 300,000 miles on it. You need to check the killer dowel pin. KDP is what they kind of go by in the forums and stuff. So what it is a little pin right here that aligns the timing cover or the housing itself, and that pin will work out and drop into these gears and just wreck your engine. Alright, so here's my fix I did, and so basically the pin is, let me see if I can find another pin here. Anyway, so here's the fix I did. So behind this little tab I made is just your typical locating pin you'll see on transmission adapters, things like that. So what that pin does is basically align this whole housing onto here so you can bolt it down. So what happens is that pin starts backing itself out and then falls down in these gears and goes this way, gets caught here, and boom. So simple fix. You can buy this little tab. It makes no sense to buy it. I just used some scrap metal I had to lay around and bolted it in. It holds that tab in from coming this way anymore and falling down in those gears. Alright, so first thing off, we'll just move on to the engine here, and turbo. So this turbo right here was, I tried to rebuild it, bought the simple rebuild kit, and I got stonewalled by a few of the bolts on there. I got the first one off and the next three snapped to. The third one I couldn't get off. I rounded off the head, so I gave up. Brought it into the turbo shop next to work. They're a bunch of 12 valve guys, good guys at Austin Fuel Injection and Turbo. Gave it to them and said, hey, rebuild this thing. But if you can't get the bolts off, let me know if you can't, or if it's going to cost more than me just getting another turbo. So they called literally 30 minutes later and said, yeah, this thing's toast. It's just too much work. So they didn't have any cores there to rebuild. So then I ended up getting brand new turbo. This is an HE351, which came off the 2003, 2004, 2005 Dodge Cummins. One thing I've heard about this, it spools up a little faster, a lot faster than that HX35, which was the stock on the 12 valve Cummins in the late 90s that I have in the 80. So we'll see how this one goes. This one's also a little bit of a custom jobber. Has a 67 millimeter compressor wheel. Good for, they say, up to 700 horsepower, even though I won't even get near that. So the couple things that I'm going to have to do on here is, this was an electric solenoid that opened up the wastegate. I plugged that with a simple plug that was supposed to be for a 7.3 that's in that, to kind of do the same thing. Where you can add your own custom boosts. And so this thing was $15, or I can buy the $50 special that goes with this turbo that people make for the block off plate. So a little cheap block off plate, it works. And then added a new oil line here, just using and fittings. And what else? I do have the wastegate. I'm going to go with a manual wastegate that's spring actuated rather than boost actuated. And I am still waiting on the hose to come here, and then I got a new fitting to go into here that comes straight out rather than bends up. It was a little bit of a too much of a, and it kept kinking right there. Probably could make it work, but I might as well just do it right while I have it here. Another thing about this turbo is I can run a 4-inch exhaust straight off the back of the turbo, which is nice. So my plan is to run the turbo or the downpipe down, and then it comes right here and then comes along the firewall. This is how the 80 was, and then I'm just going to exit it right there at the rear wheel. I don't even know if I'm going to run a turbo, or not. Sorry, not. I don't even know if I'm going to run a muffler. On the 80, I do have. It is a spark resistor, not a true muffler, and only reason I did that rather than just straight piping it was to go onto public lands, federal lands. You need some sort of spark resistor on your muffler, so no sparks come out, starts a big fire, things like that. So I want to comply with that. There's no sense on straight piping it. I can just add a simple spark resistor in there. A couple other things. Let's see. So added block heater. Nice and simple. Just banged out one of these freeze plugs. Put this one in, and it is kind of the screw. It holds it in the back gasket. And then I will run this up to the bumper and do exactly what I did on the 80 right here, where you just add the nice plug. And then, if I haven't showed y'all this before, on this side, battery charger. So shore power, same thing. That helps when maybe I'm at a campsite that has power and I'm under a bunch of trees. I want to run the fridge and my solar doesn't have any sunlight, and I'll just plug it in like an RV. Okay, now let's get to the fun stuff. We've got a transmission and transfer case. That's the big one. So I got my adapter in, as you can see here. The adapter, it's nice and simple. It literally took me about 15-20 minutes to install that thing, and then I forgot to put in the gasket, as you can see here, that goes between the adapter and this. Yeah, once again, another 20 minutes to take that transfer case off to put that gasket in, and much better than the split case which I have on the 80, that you basically just gotta take off this front half to unmate it from the transmission. A couple other things here. I have run breather lines going here from the factory. This is how it is, and then I got it going up here. I tied in the transmission line here, and then it will go up here and eventually be on the firewall, along with the front breather here, which is for the locker, and then as you can see over there's my breather for the axle. Cross member, let me go over to the other side, show you how I did the cross member. I am still have not, everything's been bolt on at this point. Engine bolt on, obviously that's all bolt on. I did not want to mess with the factory cross member, so what I did was just made a big 3x3 tubing here, mounted the transmission of this, and then this goes here, and this is actually an NV4500 trans mount, and it goes right down into the factory cross member, just like the Toyota Aisin transmission. And as you can see here, this is my spare cross member. You can see that's where the rubber mount mounts to, and it's amazing. It just goes right in like it was supposed to be there. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to think of some more stuff that you may be into. Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of time, but I'm getting there little by little. I did put on the drive shaft, and I think I'm about an inch short. I may be able to get a spacer or just get that one redone. That thing is dry as a bone, so I need to service that thing as well, which will be new U-joints, grease it up. So I didn't want to mess with it too much putting it on because it's dry as a bone, and I don't want to be pulling stuff out and get it locked. What else? That is, I think, about it. Oh, one more thing here. So I did get this on. It is 3/4 inches shorter than the one I had on here, which was for a 24 valve. All right, so here is 12 valve and 24 valve. And you can see significant height difference. Hopefully that inch or 3/4 of an inch is enough for me to close my hood, which I think it is. One thing is this is actually an upgrade over this for whatever reason. A little bit bigger, maybe it pulls in more air, I don't know, or I don't really care. I'm not into getting huge power out of this thing. So that allows me to hopefully close the hood when I get to that point. One thing is, so this had a big triangle here that goes like this and mounts right here. Well, that wouldn't clear these big old fuel lines from the bus, so I hacked that off. And then I also had to do some grinding under there to clearance those fuel lines. And there's one of them that it doesn't touch, but I mean, man, you could probably not even get a piece of paper under there. So what I did is I got new gaskets here, and I doubled up, I think, the bottom gasket. I left the one that was there, added a new gasket, and that brought it up just a hair, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to get some sort of spacer and just raise it up maybe 2 millimeters. And hopefully that won't be exactly what my hood clearance is gonna be. So there you go. I'm gonna bust out and get some more stuff done today and try to get another video here pretty quick, because I gotta get some stuff in the mail that I want to show you guys once I get it. So subscribe to the channel, be ready for the next video. Thanks guys, see y'all later.